Weapons is written and directed by Zach Krieger, who also wrote and directed Barbarian a few years ago, a movie that I was actually a very big fan of, and so naturally I was very excited to see what he would do over here. This movie is out in theaters this weekend, and I just got to see it earlier in the afternoon. One night at 2:17 a.m. in the morning, every child from Mrs. Gandy's class woke up, got out of bed, went downstairs, opened the front door, walked into the dark, and they never came back. That's basically what I just read off the poster over here. The reason I decided to do that is because, very similar to Barbarian, the less that I describe about the movie and what's going on in it, the better it is, because I feel like you guys should discover it for yourselves. I actually walked in practically blind to this movie. Besides that very basic premise, I knew nothing about it, but I also didn't see anything about it. Of course, I saw the poster, but I didn't watch any of the trailers, I didn't look up anything else, and so I was just deciding to go in blind and witness whatever else was going to happen. And I feel like with horror movies, it's always very fun to do that, because sometimes you don't want to ruin something for yourself, avoid surprises and all that, and it's something that I've been doing more and more recently with movies of other genres as well. And so that's exactly what I decided to do over here too. And having seen the movie, getting right into it, once again, I think Zach Krieger does a really great job as a writer and director over here. And what I think is also really incredible about it is how he manages to balance out the entire thing. Because similar to Barbarian, there are moments over here where it is incredibly scary and tense, and there's some frightening imagery, but at the same time, there's also moments where it's very darkly funny, or just funny in general, and you will have some laughs over those moments. And how it's able to ride that line as carefully as it does and still deliver a very chilling experience overall by the end of it, I have to say it is a testament to how he manages to, make all of those moments breathe in the best ways possible. Because you have to remember, this is a very serious premise. You're dealing with missing children in a neighborhood from one specific classroom. And so tensions are very high because people are trying to find answers and no one seems to be giving any. And whether or not it's the authorities or Justine Gandy, Julia Garner herself, you're not being able to figure out what exactly has happened, and they're also trying to get answers to the very same situation. And so everything is at a boiling point. So to have moments over there where it can also feel a bit lighthearted and even give you a bit of respite and not lose track of things, I think is really commendable. And speaking of Julia Garner, getting into the performances over here, this is another really great turn from her. I think her entire career path is one that has been to watch out for a long time now. I've seen her in stuff like, Sin City, A Dame to Kill for a long time ago, and then from that point to Ozark, and then all the stuff that she's done with Fantastic Four recently as well. She has done an incredible job in all this stuff. And I think over here, she once again continues, proving why she's one of the best we have right now. There are a lot of things that she herself is juggling with, and how the movie is exploring her trying to process everything that's happened while also trying to find answers, and seeing her own personal life get upended in the process. How she's able to balance those two out is also really, really great. And it leads to a really, affecting performance from her in some moments too. You understand where she's also coming from and how she's trying to, work her way through all of this, even though the town is turning on her more and more by the second, because they're trying to put together that maybe you're responsible for this. I mean, they're all disappeared from your class after all. And when you're seeing that side of things, which is often represented by Archer, a parent played by Josh Brolin, whose child is one of the missing children, I think how the movie manages to play that aspect too, as a parent just trying to find his son, it is also done in a very, affecting way, and something that you can get behind immediately. Something where you want this father to find his child as soon as possible, because it feels like the more days are going by, the less the hope for that is, deciding to stay on. Even though there are many who are trying to move on because it seems like this case is just coming up cold. And I'm not trying to spoil any further than that, but, the rest of it you're going to have to see for yourself. The supporting characters actors that you get over here with performances from Alden Ehrenreich, Benedict Wong, and other performances as well. They're all really great. Someone else I want to give a huge shout out to is Carrie Christopher, the kid who plays Alex. He's the only child who did not disappear from Justine's classroom. He's really good in this movie, and as the movie progresses, you learn a little bit more about him as well and what he's going through and how he portrays that. I thought he did an excellent job, and he really went toe-to-toe with, again, some very big names over here. When the horror moments do kick in, they are very effective. There's a lot of jump scare moments in the movie, which I know can be a bit of a frustrating point for a lot of people, myself included sometimes, because sometimes when you see too many things pop out from the screen, from the corners of the screen right in your face, it's always like, oh no. But in this case, it's not so much that. It's just, a little moment where you see something and it's a creepy image with a, musical flourish or something like that. But it's done very effectively, and those moments really do come at you in a very creepy way. There's a couple of moments in particular that really send chills down your spine, which I do have to give a lot of credit to. But then there's also moments where it's so sudden that the reaction to it from, specific characters will probably just be like, what the hell was that? Like, it's like there's a genuine laugh to be had with some of that. Like, there's one moment in particular where a character has that exact reaction over seeing something really crazy. And it's really well executed, that moment. It's very well placed in the movie because it's the only reaction that you can have to something like that. I'm keeping it vague, but that's kind of the point of this review as well. I'm trying to not get into things too much because I don't want you guys to know too much going in. Anything that I've said to you so far is also very much like the early parts of the movie, because eventually as things progress, it becomes more and more complex. But how it starts to tie everything together is also really good. I will say though that towards a certain point, when the movie does start to explain a few things and sort of provide some answers as to what might be going on, some of those aspects are incredibly fascinating, and I wish there was a little bit more time to expand on those a little bit more, because you start getting your answers, and there are some themes and ideas that it plays around with in those moments that I thought I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. There's also a very big swing that they take towards the final act of the movie, where they decide to do things a certain way. And I feel like you're either really gonna dig what they do, or you're not gonna dig it as much. I've seen some reactions from some, peers of mine. Some people really liked it, some did not. I personally really liked what they did, but I'll leave that to you guys. You let me know what you guys think of it. But overall, I really liked Weapons. Hopefully I've kept things vague enough that you can watch the movie without, having any preconceived notions as to how things play out. So hopefully I was able to do that, and when you guys do go check it out, I hope you guys have a great experience with it. I would say this is one of my favorite horror movies of the year for sure. I think it's like second only perhaps to something like Sinners. I thought Sinners is still the gold standard for me, but this was really solid stuff and highly recommended. I'm gonna give Weapons a 9 out of 10. Also, I just want to say one thing. I went to go see this at the 217 show, the one that they decided to do coinciding with the thing in the movie. I don't think I've had a more respectful audience in a long time. For the first time in, I think, a year, there was no cell phones. I really want this more. Why can't people just keep their phones in their pockets, man? Like, just watch the movie. No one was really talking, no one was really saying anything, people were reacting appropriately to the movie. It was just a really nice screening. Just something I wanted to highlight. Guys, thank you very much as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.